Today, we are talking about what's being called the mother of all deals. It's a massive, groundbreaking agreement between the European Union and India, and honestly, it's set to completely reshape global trade. So let's get into it. Why is this partnership such a big deal, and what does it actually mean for the rest of us? All right, to really wrap our heads around the sheer size of this thing, we're not going to start with politics or economics, nope. We're going to start with something a lot simpler, a grain of rice. It might seem totally random, but believe me, the story of this partnership really begins with a legal fight over one of the world's most famous foods. So get this. Back in October 2025, a court in Kenya made a really surprising decision. It actually ruled against India in a case about protecting the name Basmati. Now, we all know Basmati. It's famous worldwide for its amazing quality and the fact that it comes from the Himalayan foothills. So the big question is, how on earth did India lose that case? Well, the answer comes down to a legal idea called geographical indications, or GIs for short. You can think of a GI as being kind of like a trademark, but for an entire region. It guarantees that a product is the real deal because of where it comes from. The classic example is champagne. You can only call it champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Anything else is just sparkling wine. And here's the crucial part. The Kenyan court basically said, look, having a great reputation around the world isn't enough. For Basmati to be legally protected in Kenya, it needed to be formally registered as a GI under Kenyan law. And it wasn't. This whole case perfectly highlights a huge problem in global trade. How do you protect these iconic local products when they go international? Just hang on to that thought for a minute. Okay, now let's zoom out. We're going from that one courtroom drama all the way to the global stage. Because while lawyers were arguing about rice, diplomats were putting the finishing touches on a historic agreement that would solve this exact problem and a whole lot more. To give you a sense of the scale here, even before this new deal, the EU and India were already massive trading partners. We're talking over 180 billion euros in goods and services changing hands every single year. This new agreement is designed to pour gasoline on that fire. And the number of people this affects, it's just staggering. This deal creates a free trade zone that connects the economies and really the lives of a combined 2 billion people. Together, as two of the world's biggest democratic powers, the EU and India account for a full quarter of the entire global GDP. That is some serious economic muscle. And then it happened on January 27, 2026. After almost 20 years of on-and-off negotiations, the EU and India finally signed this landmark free trade agreement. And as the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen put it, this was way more than just a deal. It was a powerful signal to the entire world. Okay, so what does this historic deal actually mean for regular people and businesses? Let's break down some of the real, tangible wins. Because when you start tearing down trade barriers on this kind of scale, the effects are felt everywhere. Just look at this. This is one of the most dramatic changes right here, especially for the auto industry. India had this mind-blowing 110% tariff on imported cars. Well, that's getting slashed all the way down to just 10%. For European car makers, this is an absolute game changer. But this is not a one-way street. Not at all. The benefits are flowing in both directions. You can see here that tariffs on European wine going to India will plummet from 150% down to as low as 20%. Olive oil tariffs? Gone. Wiped out completely. And at the same time, major Indian exports like textiles and leather can now enter the EU with zero tariffs. It's estimated this will save European companies something like 4 billion euros a year in duties alone. But here's where things get really interesting. It's a huge mistake to think this is just about money and tariffs. It's not. In fact, two other groundbreaking agreements were signed right alongside the trade deal, and they build a much, much deeper strategic relationship. First up, a serious security pact. You know, in a world that's feeling more and more unstable, the EU and India are stepping up their cooperation on really critical issues. We're talking maritime security and key shipping lanes, cyber defense, counterterrorism. This is a sign of a powerful new strategic alliance. And second, there's a mobility agreement. This is all about making it way easier for Indian students, researchers, and skilled professionals to come work and study across the EU. They're even setting up a new EU office in India just to help facilitate this incredible exchange of talent. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it becomes crystal clear. This isn't just a trade deal. It's a massive, multi-layered partnership with two incredibly strong pillars. You've got the economic pillar with all the trade and investment, and then you've got the strategic pillar, which is all about security and the movement of people. Okay, so now let's tie all these threads together. This is where we bring it all full circle, right back to where we started. Remember that seemingly small legal case about Basmati rice? Remember that big problem? How do you stop iconic local products from being misused or copied in this giant global marketplace? Well, check this out. The solution is baked right into this partnership. As part of the whole package, the EU and India are now creating a special geographical indications agreement. Its whole purpose is to build a legal framework to protect products just like Basmati rice and prevent these kinds of disputes from ever happening again. And this right here brings us to the biggest takeaway. This complete three-part package, ambitious trade, deep security cooperation, and a focus on people and talent, creates a whole new blueprint for how major democratic powers can and should work together in the 21st century. It's a move away from deals that are just about economics toward alliances that are much more holistic and strategic. So this landmark EU-India deal really does provide a new model for global partnerships, one that weaves together trade, security, and human talent. It's a pretty powerful statement that even in an age of division, this kind of deep collaboration is possible. And it leaves us with a really important question for the future. As the world's biggest democracies start writing a new rulebook for how to be partners, who's going to be next to sign up?